Okay, so we are live, and from what Colin says, X has gone down.
In
Yeah,
England.
I've been trying to check, and yeah, I was able to get on X a few minutes ago, but now seems like something's gone on.
Dear.
So the link to the chat, or the link to the stream, is in the chat. If you want to join, go ahead. So Colin, hopefully you'll make it in. There's Colin, but he doesn't have a device connected. Says device is not connected, so either there we go.
Yeah.
Oh, hello.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, yeah.
No. Okay, so my X is back.
How is it? Let me check mine, see if it's back.
First, remember, mute self on YouTube when you're in StreamYards. Yeah, I was on X and I went in and it just came up.
Yeah. Oh, it's back. Yeah, mine's is back. Mine's or is it?
No, I don't know
mine's is back. Mine's is back.
I was trying to upgrade it and I couldn't get the message up. And then I reloaded, went out and came back in again, and it came back with a sorry, we're down.
Yeah, mine said that as well. Yeah.
And I just see it.
Hold on, something went wrong. Let's have a look. Yeah, mine's is back. It's back.
Yeah, is it?
Well,
anyway.
I mean, X isn't the greatest.
Yeah, looks like it's back up again now. Yeah, whatever it was.
So, did anybody see a picture of Shooty in a skirt? That's coming.
Not just that, I noticed. Did you notice a skirt and trousers?
Yeah, I saw that. Dan had something on his Facebook page with that.
I know that's in much thinner material. I know that's something you get in India and Pakistan sometimes, both male and female styles, where you get a long tunic top over trousers, but they're sort of thinner because obviously it's much harder to climb it. And I saw that a few years ago. I noticed in ladies.
Look, this is what the hell is this? Seriously, what is it?
It looks like a kid's dress.
No, I just the whole thing is just rubbish.
What it looks to me, if you see the other picture of him from when you see clear picture of him at the front, it looks almost as if he's wearing an attempt at a three-piece suit, except instead of skirt or trousers and a waistcoat and a jacket, he's wearing a waistcoat, skirt and trousers.
We don't care what he's wearing. Listen, I'll say this to people that are listening or people that are watching this stream. If you're a Doctor Who fan, do not put a picture up of Shooty or any of this latest episodes. Do not even talk about it. Seriously.
How's about that? I mean, that's not really a picture.
Just saying, right? If you're a real fan of Doctor Who, do not entertain these people. These people are horrible, evil people. Just have nothing to do with them. Seriously.
Well, speaking of blood pressure, getting the blood pressure up, I was just telling Ian before we went live, you got to look at the
8-hour stream. Just putting chairs up, stupid.
I gotta say, I just do not care.
Nobody cares.
Did they literally have a live stream of 5 hours of a camera pointing at a load of empty chairs?
Yes.
Yeah. Let's play it. I won't get copy struck for this.
Well, this is the end, isn't it? When they shade everything, isn't it?
What character in the Hello, Father? What character is Vanessa Kirby?
She's Invisible Girl from the Fantastic Four, new Fantastic Four.
Oh, the new Fantastic Four. Okay.
Yep. So she's.
Don't care.
Don't care.
Used to care. Definitely do not care.
Who? Fake character.
I like Paul.
Yeah, Paul's all right.
I don't know Wyatt. Don't know him. Don't know him.
Help someone watching on StreamYard on YouTube.
Do not care. Eh,
Mrs. Pug.
Fake character.
I like Kelsey, but it's been what? I mean, okay, we don't count the Captain, the Marvels, where he appeared at the end credit. But I mean, how long has it been since he's been in a movie?
He's a CGI character. All he's lending his voice, isn't he? So it's obvious that's what he's going to do. Because his voice, he's got a really good voice.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, so that's what he's going to be doing. So he's just going to lend his voice to a CGI character.
Yeah.
I was saying to somebody the other day, I think the problem they've got is the who?
Yeah, who?
Don't know.
Isn't that a type of train?
So I think some of those are characters from the Thunderbolts show coming out.
I
Oh
see.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I did see like U.S. Agent or something from like Falcon and Winter Soldier is supposed to be in it.
Mm.
I was. What this brings up something. I think that Drinker dropped a video early on today. I think about the Captain African American, and I've said is that I've said a couple of places.
They
you
got
have to do
another one.
So much homework for any of these things.
Hey, John, good to see
Hey,
you.
John.
Hey,
What's
Father Noah,
going on,
how you
Seymour?
doing? Hey,
So
guys.
Good,
that's,
good.
Music.
So-
That's music from the X-Men, isn't it? Just now was playing.
Yeah, that's. I'm trying to remember who did this commentary on it. Okay, Loki's back.
Why?
I don't care.
Hadn't he become the World Tree or something?
They play all the music from where they're from.
I see.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah.
Patrick Stewart.
So is Patrick Stewart being wheeled out in a wheelchair? And are you gonna make him de-age him and fix his voice? Because he sounds like he's gonna drop. He really does. So I don't know what they're gonna do with Patrick Stewart.
They'll probably do what they did in the Strange World, the Doctor Strange one, Multiverse of Madness, right?
All right.
He
Yeah.
insta dies.
But see, I wonder if they're just putting it on there now so that if they die, they can still under contract use their voice and likeness.
Ah.
Maybe.
No, I mean, I'm happy to see. Happy to see the original X-Men back.
No, they're all old. What's the
Yeah,
point?
I know, but
now
I'm not gonna. I don't think I'm gonna go see this in the theater.
Mm. Yeah, sell the 7 Seas, everybody. Chatham Chayton, why?
Pedro.
Why? And Pedro, what? I'm sick and tired of seeing that guy's face.
Well, he's in everything.
Oh, God. How tall is this man? He looks really small.
About
Yeah.
3'5".
But all those name reveals to me, it looks like it's just going to be a big bloated mess, don't you think?
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably. Unless
And
they've got a
critical-
really good script.
It's
See,
so
this.
they have Robert Downey Jr. at the end there, like it's some kind of surprise, but it's like you literally announced him 6 months ago at San Diego
Yeah.
Comic.
Mm.
It's actually not. It's not actually a 2-hour film. It's a 30-minute film and 90 minutes of credits.
Probably.
It'd be kind of fun to see him as the drunk Iron Man in 128.
I remember reading this, and I was really shocked that he turned into a drunk.
Well, I gotta say to Father, I thought Justin might be here because I'm interested in hearing about his the comics he acquired recently.
Yeah, I don't know how much he can talk about, but I'm only on so I can show off a few of the things that I got. All I know is that he got a massive collection, and he will only let me look at the stuff that he's already put prices on. Because if I try to go in and look through the box, he slaps my hand. So,
Well, tell him that's
What?
a sin for striking a priest.
well, he just pretended to, but I did pull a Batman 126,
Ooh, let me bring
wow.
that up. Hold on.
which is an
Uh,
early
Nice.
Batwoman.
Yes.
Which is pretty
She looks
cool.
like-
And Firefly.
She looks very stringy, that woman.
Yeah, it's very good. And then as soon as I saw this one with that retro Batmobile, because they have to enter into a car race with an old Batmobile that they disguise.
That's the cover of the Golden Omnibus, Volume 10.
Okay, yeah, it's a sweet cover, and they're not in too bad a shape. I think they'd maybe be like a 3.0 or a 4.0. But then I knew you had your eyes on this one, so I had to snap.
Oh,
it
no,
first.
no, please. Oh, you bum. You, I will text you my
But
response.
maybe we can make a
Did you
deal
buy
down the
that?
line.
Father.
I bought it.
Yes.
But maybe you and I can make a deal down the road. But
Yeah,
it's
because
the
I have
first
like
post
I have a few. I probably have about 80 or 90 of them.
Yeah. And he's got a bunch more in that collection too. I know they're coming out.
I know he
so,
does.
I'm just holding on that one too for safekeeping, but and it's in
Okay,
pretty
sounds good.
pretty rough shape, but I got a good
It
deal
is?
on it.
Okay.
Yeah, so I don't know if you can see the corners and the edge.
Let
but
me bring that up.
It's pretty well loved, as they say.
Yeah, but I
See
mean
all
the cover as a whole looks pretty good.
Yeah.
It's intact. There's a big crease here, but the colors are nice and bright, which is good.
Yeah.
Yeah. But man, he was pulling out stuff even as I was there, just getting my pulls, and he says, "Oh, I got first this, I got first that, I got first this, I got first that." He was super excited.
Well, he had
So
something. He had something on Facebook. What was it that he? Oh, he pulled out a first appearance of Thor. I thought.
I think it was first Thor.
Yeah.
Or yeah.
Did
So
you-
his presser was taking those not to be pressed. Yeah.
Mm.
So,
Did you guys hear about John Carpenter and he's lost the rights to Escape to New York and they're remaking it with a woman, Snake Plissken? Have you heard about that?
I'd love to stay, guys, but I got to get back to game day. We're playing the Witcher board game, so I'll let you guys.
oh, tell Cross and who else is with you, or can you say?
Oh, it's just Hennon and Father Close and my brother. So Cross is
I'll
on
tell him
vacation.
hi.
All right. See you guys.
Oh,
God bless.
Good to see you.
the Witcher game.
Bye.
Ta-da.
Yeah, there's a Witcher board game. Yep.
Oh, have fun, Father.
Not too bad. See you later.
Go see it. So,
Yeah, I saw something about that on Twitch, but I can never, these days, I'm getting to the point, I can never tell if something's real or not.
Well, he said it. John Carpenter was being interviewed and he actually said it. So I'm assuming that they are going to do it with
Presumably
female.
it's going to be a musical because they've got Cynthia Erivo in Star Wars.
I don't know. I don't know.
And I don't know, that might have been a...
It sounds
That might be
awful, though. It
Yeah.
sounds awful. But that's the way. Do you know what? Right? Remember, I was saying to you guys, I was saying that I didn't believe in race swapping and stuff, and they should create their own characters. They actually did one, and it's on Netflix, right? And it's called The Resident. I don't know if you guys have seen this, and it's this big black woman with big fuzzy hair, and it says here, a brilliant eccentric detective must solve a murder in the White House residence,
Oh.
where staff and guests are at state dinner and all are suspects.
Oh, that's the one with Viola Davis.
No, that's that's
Movie?
G20.
No,
this is
Oh,
no,
yeah.
That's Die Hard with the menopause.
yeah.
It
this
sounds like
is-
the same thing.
no. This is a TV mystery, TV comedy, TV crime TV show. I probably will watch it. It really looks awful. It really does. But I'm hoping that this is a step in the right direction. They've literally created a character for a person of color. So I'm hoping it's going to be good. But it probably won't be. But anyway, I just
Well,
thought I'd mention it.
The dumb thing is, we say that do this, and they've got characters for. I mean, generally because it's the American attitude of these things, and it all seems to be black rather than any other race in general. But they come with the Falcon, and what happens? They can't keep the Falcon, so they make him Captain America instead. You know?
That's the way it goes.
Yeah,
Oh,
I mean,
trying to
they
find-
had perfectly good characters. I mean,
Yes.
I recently got back into The Rookie, the
Oh, is
Nathan
that,
Fillion cop
yeah,
show.
Nathan,
Nathan
yeah.
Fillion.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I enjoyed the first. Unfortunately, it came out at the wrong time, and the second and third series were atrociously George Floyd infected. And I stopped watching it, but I got back. I've actually just caught up with it, and I noticed all of a sudden both of the detectives are women, but because it's set in LA and their characters that have been established in the first place, it's not nowhere near as intrusive.
Has anybody been watching Daredevil?
No.
No.
I don't think anybody else is either. He's cool.
No one is. The show only hit the Illuminate like top 10 charts in its second week. So obviously Illuminate's a little bit different because where they stop is like midweek or whatever, so you don't get the weekend. So the first week it obviously didn't chart, but then obviously you had that weekend bump, so it showed up in the second week. But in its third week, it fell off the charts again, and it's doing worse than The Acolyte.
It is, yeah. That's because people are not interested anymore.
No.
They're
I'll
really
show
not.
you what I just started watching. Let me bring this up.
What have you been watching, Father? Is it
Well,
something British?
No, actually, it's American.
You do.
Okay.
Once.
For once.
I had to do that one, Ian. I had to.
Let me. Okay, I gotta cancel my screen. Let's bring this up. There we go. Show from the 80s.
What is it? Let's have a look. Oh, Sledgehammer. Do you know what, right? Over here, they used to show it at 10 o'clock in the night, right? And I remember the last episode they showed is when the bomb went off and it destroyed half of New York or something like that. And all you can hear is the black guy going, Sledgehammer, something like that at the end. That's how it ended. And that was the last episode I ever saw.
Here, John, are you familiar with this one at all?
No, but the main actor kind of looks like Henry Cavill.
Here, I want to play part of the clip. I don't think I'll get struck for it.
It's a comedy.
But it is.
Yeah, it looks like, yeah.
That was the gun in the window.
Sledgehammer! All right, what's going on? I gotta get to work. I've got a sniper on that roof. That no good yogurt eating freak. Building evacuated? Yeah. We got vermin on the roof. But I got an idea. Who are you talking to? Nobody.
Dirty Harry by any chance?
Yeah.
Yeah, you couldn't make this. You couldn't make this
No.
show today.
No, of course you can't.
They're already so mad about the Punisher already.
I haven't seen it.
But here's the good part.
I think I got him.
Yeah, I got him.
Oh.
I remember he had a partner, a really hot partner with him, didn't he? Dero. The girl's name was Dero.
Yeah, I can't think of it, but
She was gorgeous.
there was the other thing I was going to mention. The race swapping got me thinking of something I saw on Gutfeld last night.
What's that?
It was about attacking the cars because they're doing the violence over here with the Tulsa. I can't even
Teslas.
say it. Tesla. Thank you.
Tesla, that's it. Tesla.
Here we go.
Yeah, the cars are safer for the environment because they're all electric, so let's burn them all down.
Look at
I'm
that.
sure that's
huh?
not going to have
Isn't
any
that a beauty,
environmental
Dana?
effect at all.
Boom! That's 33-year-old Demarquayan Cox. He was charged with felony criminal mischief after he was caught on camera ramming his ATV into a parked Tesla in Texarkana, Texas on Tuesday. He's also suspected of carving the name Elon into two other vehicles after this ramming incident. Is this
Why though?
Because the
Why?
latest download is
Because
told
he
them
runs
that
Doge.
it's all evil.
Okay.
He runs Doge. He's working with Donald Trump. Thus, Orange Man bad. Anyone associated with Orange Man is bad, and so must commit bad things to fight back against bad guy.
So, are you guys not hearing about those over there?
Oh yeah.
The
No,
attacks?
I don't know. I'm totally confused though, because like
There's
I
a lot
have,
of attacks lately on the cars and the
Really?
people that own them. Yeah.
I have a lot of friends. Some of them are left, but I don't. But, we don't use those words over here, and some of them are right. But when I ask someone that's kind of left, I say, "Why do you hate Donald Trump so much?" They just don't know what to say to me. I don't know. It's weird. They just say, "Oh, because he's rich and he's going to take advantage." I'm like, "Well, explain. More details, please." And
Yeah,
they just
same
can't. I'm confused why they hate him. I'm confused why people actually support politicians, because politicians are rotten to the core, in my opinion.
Yeah,
Most of them.
yeah. Well, that's the problem. It's because he's not a politician. But I think it's a question of they've been told. It's literally the reason. It's literally they've had the latest NPC downloaded. You know, it's literally
Michelle has an interesting comment, and let me see if I can get this up here. I would say don't let them know.
Oh, they are. I think they are. Yeah.
You know, I know that there's been a lot of videos going around showing the attacks, but I'd rather them not know about it.
There was one person who was they just got him. He was the one who firebombed the dealership in Texas
Vegas?
or whatever.
Oh, okay,
his name was,
Texas.
or maybe it was Vegas. Might have been Vegas. His name's Kim or something. They got him, so he's going away.
Well, did you see the one in, I think it was Connecticut, where it was at a resort and a guy just got out and keyed it? The cops confronted him. He said he didn't do it, and then they're like, "We got you on video."
Well, I think part of it is they do know the cameras in it, because I think a lot of what you see from some search engines is very performative. It's
I think that's still past behavior. So, I mean, even going back to, what is it, Summer of Love or whatever it was, 2020 with Floyd. And that was probably one of my harshest criticisms of Trump, was the fact that he did not kind of step in and let the police put all of this stuff down. So I do think this is kind of like a test for him. Is he going to, has he learned, right? Or is he going to kind of sit back and try and let state and local governments try and deal with it, where they're just by them dealing with it, they don't deal with it, right? I mean, we literally, what was it, the Chaz or whatever, they literally took over like downtown or something, right?
Yeah, so I got to show this
and stuff like that. So maybe they're still operating on that NPC update, as Archer was saying.
I'm going to Minnesota this summer to go fish with my dad. I'm going through Minneapolis. I wanted to find a good bookstore to look on stuff. Found a sci-fi one in Minneapolis. The only problem is, let me see if we can bring this up here a little bit closer. So this is from the Summer of Love.
Oh, right.
The bookstore was burnt to the ground by rioters.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I was talking about. They're still kind of operating with this idea that they can. There is no consequences to these actions.
Oh dear.
Yep.
So I think it's a test, and obviously it looks like Trump has learned his lesson, and his administration has learned his lesson, and he's
yeah, but you know, the thing is, they're going to be attacking him now for the next 4 years over the signal thing.
Oh, well, they're already going after the they're trying to say that one woman who they like arrested was like kidnapped and stuff like this, because one of the detectives happened to be wearing a hoodie or something.
What about you guys heard what's his name? Is it Gavin Newsom, whoever his name is, in LA?
Yeah.
He's got this
California
podcast,
governor,
and he's agreeing with everyone that says he's a rotten idiot. And I don't understand the logic behind that. How he can.
He's trying to move to the right in order to make himself kind of more what's the electable, I guess. In a possible like presidential election in 2028 against Vance or DeSantis or whoever Republicans choose.
But people are not that stupid, though.
Yeah, they are.
Yes, they are.
All right.
I think a lot.
I mean, John probably would know who I'm talking about. Jasmine Crockett.
Yeah, she was.
Yeah, I mean, they elect idiots, and she's one of them.
So this is something that it isn't even like people being stupid. It's just there's literally I think he was in South Carolina. His name is literally Charlie Brown, and he was elected because his name is Charlie Brown, because of the Peanuts character. He served one term, and then fortunately they realized the guy was incompetent and he got voted out. But he was literally elected because his name was Charlie Brown, right?
But hold on, but Newsom, right? If he's going to wanting to be elected again. What about all the people that lost their homes and stuff like that? Wouldn't they not vote for him? I mean, there's a huge majority thinks that the guy's an idiot. So
Yeah, but it's California. I mean,
Oh,
I
okay.
would think they're going to vote for him regardless
Why?
who he's running against. I think is
Why?
the best way to say it.
Is it because most
If
of
it
the
has,
people-
if they have an R after if they are part of the R party, they don't want them.
And,
But
they
is it because most of the people in LA support the left? Is that what you're
Oh,
saying?
yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
they
okay.
won't vote for
See if I can bring up
Newsom.
the
They'll
map.
vote against whoever he's up against. But I did see someone of the opinion that Newsom isn't necessarily a true believer lefty. That he more follows the flow, and because he's in California, and California is very Dem and lefty. That's where he follows. But if he's somewhere else, which is why he's able to actually perhaps move
Which
himself,
makes him
towards
even
the right a
more
bit.
scary because he's
Yeah.
a snake. He's
Yeah.
a chameleon.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So the sad part is the blue area is like San Francisco, Los Angeles, the big populated areas. They're going to support whoever is running as a Democrat.
Okay, well, what I don't understand is how could people be so stupid? I mean, we were never that stupid like 20 years ago. Well, I don't think so. We weren't this stupid. People had intelligence. They had majority of people had logic behind them. Well, what's going on here?
So people can't read anymore. Like there's literally data now that in the United States people they can't read. People like
Oh,
don't even
wow.
read. So
Wow.
we are getting stupider. Like I am dumber than people who lived 50 years ago just because just based on like my age and when I happen to be born for the most part, right? Like they've changed the curriculums in schools. The classics aren't taught anymore. I'm like actually following this Deacon Harrison Garlic. He runs the Great Books Ascend the Great Books podcast. So I'm actually like self-teaching myself and like going. I mean, obviously I'm doing it with him and everything, but I'm learning these classics that
John,
I was like,
you might be interested. I did my first Socratic seminar in class about a month ago on Urban II's Call for the Crusades, and actually, I think it went pretty good.
Nice.
I think it actually went pretty good.
So I do feel like there is a little bit of a resurgence of people kind of diving into a lot of that stuff. I think that I'm seeing that a lot on X. Actually, there are a ton of I feel like Catholic and Orthodox kind of influencers that are bringing a lot of these classics back up, and a lot of like Aristotle, Plato, etc., Aquinas, Augustine.
Well, my diocese is my diocese is revamping its curriculum. Because starting next year, we're going to be teaching logic to all the freshmen in our diocese. And then I believe sophomores will be philosophy of being, juniors will be philosophy of man, and seniors will be ethics. And this is on top of the theology.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's fantastic because I do feel like we got away from a lot of that. Even me, when I went to a Catholic elementary school, kindergarten through 8th grade here or in Virginia. And I honestly don't remember a lot of the stuff. I mean, I know I got a great education and everything, and it get really good there, but I don't remember. I don't remember taking logic or ethics or anything like that.
I was never taught.
I took an ethics class as part of like a master's program, but it was like secular ethics, and it wasn't any like it wasn't actually rooted in morality or anything. Right?
We didn't get taught that when I was a kid. Right, the school system was awful. My teachers never used to teach us anything. Anything.
Well, there you go. I mean,
yeah, it was awful. Yeah,
that's why we're dumber, right? That's why people are. And you've probably gone out of your way to like self teach yourself a lot of things and read a lot of good stuff. I bet.
Yeah, I guess, but other people do that too. I just don't understand why they're not teaching them properly. If you know what I mean.
Yeah, I'll show you an example of why we need logic. This is one of those memes. I got into an argument with a guy I've known for over 30 years. I actually unfriended him because they're saying if you hit a car with a baseball bat because you don't like the company owners, you're a terrorist. But then going into the second part of the premise, that if you hit police officers with a bat, you're a patriot. So I mean, it's like the first premise is just total garbage.
Well, they're just
No,
lying.
Because
we
there's-
don't have that
I mean,
right now.
the thing is, where are they saying? Who said that they are a terrorist? That's
Well,
the
I
thing
would
I got
actually
into.
They've
So
been.
Pam, yeah. So Pam, go ahead, Archer.
I say they've been saying. I've seen a few posts saying that not hitting with baseball bats is logical fallacy or whatever it is. Wasn't trained in logic either.
It's not a fallacy. It's
But-
just a bad premise
Yeah,
because
well,
it's not.
yeah,
It's not
but
cited with
What
evidence.
I believe what is happening is there have been calls for people who have set cars and car dealerships on fire to be classed as domestic terrorists. Not hit them with a baseball bat, but to do mass events like not mass casualty, but mass damage.
Kim
acts
guy.
like
Was Paul Kim, the Paul Kim guy that they arrested, basically the Las Vegas guy.
and others, but for setting fire to lots of car dealerships and that sort of thing, that has been called urban terrorism.
Yeah, so Pam Bondi, the Attorney General, actually issued a statement, I don't know, earlier this month talking about that, saying that they were domestic terrorists. Trump has posted about it on Truth Social. And I agree with that. I mean, because the whole point of them bombing the Tesla dealerships is clearly to try to convince Elon Musk to change whatever he's doing with Doge that they don't like. They are literally committing these actions to terrorize him. Like it is an act of terrorism. So that I think that whole first thing is they're just lying because it is an act of terrorism.
Yeah.
And obviously they're trying to minimize it by saying it's just a baseball bat when they're like firebombing an entire dealership with all
Well,
of those.
again, this throws out their whole defense of the Earth, climate change agenda, garbage, whatever you want to call it.
Well, yeah, as Jack Posobiec likes to say, the point is the destruction, right? And the terror. They don't care about the contradiction. They don't care about the hypocrisy, because at the end of the day, anything that they do isn't about, like, they don't actually have any principles, right? Their whole goal is to obtain power and then use that power to punish and destroy you.
Do you know what? I've got a feeling that someone or some group has set everything in motion. You think that this is random. You think that people are just doing this to actually, argue with one another. I reckon some company or this is my tinfoil hat on, guys, but I reckon some company and some organization has set this thing in motion on our planet to divide us because something other is happening that they don't want us to see. I know it sounds weird, but I'm just
saying the guy in the middle. The guy in the middle on the screen is the one.
Divide and conquer, and distraction.
You guys, I mean,
it's
you
a
know who this
supernatural
is,
battle.
Stan.
That's been taken. Yeah.
Sorry?
You know who this guy is, right?
No.
George Soros.
Yeah.
He's a billionaire that has basically funded a lot of
Dr. Evil.
political races over here. He was
funds
one that
tons of activities in Europe too.
Yeah.
Why is he doing that?
chaos.
Control, chaos,
Yeah.
power.
Okay, but to what end though? People usually do something because they want to achieve something or gain something.
seen-
So what is he?
You've seen,
What was it? The
you've seen
joke you
Batman
said about
Begins, right? No.
Yeah.
It's Alfred. Alfred talks about in Alfred and Batman
Oh, the
Begins. Right?
diamonds, yeah. What is it?
Some
Yeah.
people just like
Just
to
like-
watch the world burn.
Burn. So you reckon he just likes to watch the world burn?
Yeah.
Well, that's pretty evil. So when he dies, he's probably going to go to hell, isn't he? Probably.
I'm not going to make a judgment because that's not my department.
Dante put people in hell. I
I
He wasn't
know,
condemning
but-
them though. He wasn't condemning them though. But he was
yes,
just,
but we might be surprised who he put in hell might be in heaven. We don't know.
Well, I think he put doesn't he? there's a
And
saint-
as
there's a-
Michelle, and that's the one. Sorry, I was just going to mention Michelle. Yeah, Larry Krasner in Philly is a good example of a Soros appointee because I lived in Philly for 4 years in the seminary, and I mean, he basically that whole city's gone to the ninth flare of hell.
There's a saint that he has in hell. I think he puts it
Yeah.
like an actual canonized saint that he has there.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
This is
in the Inferno.
Where's
know
that
it-
crazy world we live in? Isn't it?
I know it can't be Saint Joan because I'm not sure off the top of my head when Dante was writing, but I know he was writing before Joan of Arc was canonized.
Oh, okay, Joan of Arc. I thought you meant maybe going down the road of Pope Joan.
Oh, no, I was thinking no.
There's a Pope
He has
Joan.
a couple popes in there though. In there.
Yeah, Boniface the VIII, I think it is.
Yeah.
Well, what did he do to deserve hell?
Selling offices.
Pope
Okay.
Paul.
Basically,
that'll do it.
Semini.
That would do it.
We had a boy. How many of the Borgias were popes?
Don't know.
One or two? Because at least one Borgia pope, wasn't it?
I mean, there's a few, not many, but I mean, the influence the family had on Europe at that time is big.
Mm. Yeah.
Because I mean, he also appointed nephews, probably kids, as cardinals.
Father, you mentioned Pope Joan. Is it? I've never known if it's true. Or not. Is it true that at a papal coronation, whatever the investiture, I apologize, I'm not sure what the correct terminology is, that the Pope is carried in on a chair, on a throne, on
Used to be.
on a chair, carried on people's shoulders.
No,
and
you're
that,
thinking.
and that the chair has no seat for a reason of checking something.
That part I do not know.
Oh, no, because I've heard this but I don't know if it's an urban myth or not. That it's to check that the Pope is indeed a he, following on the story.
Is that
Pope
from that
John.
Conclave movie?
No,
Yeah,
no,
that's
I've heard it
stupid
before.
movie.
What's
This is before.
unless I'm getting confused.
I've never heard that.
But I mean, maybe I'm wrong, and maybe beat it.
It might have been a long time ago, but
The other
I was thinking Pope Paul VI was the last one to be carried on the throne. This is John Paul I, who was only Pope for 30 days.
Can I ask a
Uh,
question? Right? Why are they still doing this? Why
They don't.
they don't do this anymore?
No,
But
they
why
don't.
why did they do it in the first place? It's so.
I think part of it was to be able to elevate him so that people could see him above the crowd.
Yeah, but we got stages and we got cars. You know.
We do now. We do now.
Oh right. Okay.
But yeah, no, they haven't done this in probably 45 plus years.
Because no, the idea was, am I getting confused? Was Pope Joan the one who supposedly was actually a woman?
That was the legend or the story, but I really don't believe it
Right,
was
'cause-
true.
Well, I say, I mean, it may be not connected, but the logic as I understood it, as I remember it from hearing from years and years ago, was that Pope Joan turned out to be obviously a woman, but it is
Pregnant woman that gave birth.
Yeah, as a result of which, all popes are at some point carried up. Basically, the idea I think was that there's a chair and they lift a chair up and someone looks underneath it to make sure that it's a male, not a female.
What,
Because
you mean to
of
say he's
Pope
not
Joan.
wearing any pants then?
He's
He's not wearing any underwear.
I honestly don't know how the like for this, but that's the story I remember from Lord knows how many years ago.
That
Because of the
might
Pope
have
Joan.
been long, like I said, long time ago. Think
I
back
mean-
to Blackadder and Bob, maybe
Yeah.
something like that.
But I mean, unless it's the other way around, is I can't remember the word. There is a word for a story which is written to tell some similar to why Just So Stories. The Just So Stories explain why, for example, the name got a long
Apocryphal?
nose. Apocryphal, thank you. Yes, I think that's it. But that might be to explain as a back explanation for why did they lift the popes up on a chair and came like that. Was it so that someone could check underneath because it was once a female pope? It may be a reverse explanation. I don't know. I said it's a long time ago since I heard it, but
I mean, again, the pageantry that went into the papacy has changed greatly since 1978 when John Paul I and John Paul II was elected. Because, I mean, they used to wear the big papal tiara, the three-ringed hat.
Mm.
They don't do that anymore.
Well, why do
I
they
don't
still
know.
wear dresses then?
What dresses are those?
why do priests and when they say in mass why do they wear this long weird
black
stuff?
cassock?
I
He's talking
you
about
know
the
what?
vestments.
Yeah, that.
Yeah.
I, you know, when I was at mass last week, I was standing there thinking to myself, God, how long have they been wearing this stuff? Doesn't anyone want to change that? You know, is there one priest that goes, well, I don't want to wear that? Or why should I wear that? You know what I mean? It's like why?
Yes. Let me see if I can
After
find
mass-
the.
After mass, my pastor was talking to me, and he was like, "I'm really hot," and he wanted to go. He went and got changed.
Yes, I'm saying, you know, why wear it? You know,
I-
Well, I mean, you know, I was complaining about that this morning because in our school I had so we have class mass where the class, like my fourth period, my fifth period would go to mass on Friday.
Mm.
And our school is in the process of switching from the heating to the cooling system. So our chapel was 75
right.
degrees this morning, which is just painful for me. This
Mm.
is why I like wearing these vestments.
Even them though.
Well, but you know, the thing is, these are really light. These are what we used to wear before
right.
Vatican II.
Right. Okay.
And honestly, they're not as heavy.
Well, what I mean, I used to think they were, you know, they priests dress all in black. I mean, that's cool, right? He's dressed in black.
Yeah, that's why Luke Skywalker is in black.
Absolutely.
In Return of the
Absolutely.
Jedi, because he is literally following the path of a desert
only
desert
the
father.
Benedictines.
Ah.
Benedictines, is it Benedictine?
Benedictines and Dominicans wear black.
Dominicans, that's what I was thinking of. The ones that came up with connected to the Inquisition. Without being meaning to be in any way offensive, I suspect one reason for the clothing, the rest of it, Ian, is it's A, tradition, and B, it's to build something recognizable to stand out. So it makes something feel special that you dress, you know, a little bit like why we used to dress up to go to church, even CV, you know.
Yeah, but that what I'm saying is that's changed, doesn't it? Because like I remember when I went to church, right? And I don't, you, John, you might be too young to remember this, but when I went to church, you couldn't go in if you women couldn't go in unless they had something on their head.
Yeah,
Managerian.
Yeah, they couldn't go in, right? And they would frown at you if you came in a t-shirt and a pair of jeans. That I mean, when I was growing up, that was the thing. So in other words, if that's changed throughout the years, that rule's changed. How comes there's
yes and no, yes and no, yes and no. I mean, the thing is, when you go to mass, you shouldn't be dressing like you're going to the beach.
It depends where you are. If you're in Hawaii, I guess.
But I mean, you still want to be. I mean, okay. Yes, I have said mass with shorts on because, again, when it's bleeding hot and I'm wearing all the vestments, I'm on the verge of heat stroke.
Yeah,
I'll wear shorts under my vestments and everything. But you know, ideally, we dress up for respect. But if you're wearing like a swimsuit to mass, that's not really showing respect.
No, I understand. I totally understand that. But don't you think after all these years, they could at least have something shorter or something more comfortable for the priests, especially? I mean, even when it's cold.
We do.
So there's multiple different outfits. So obviously there's the cassock, if you're talking about them outside of the mass. So you'll see them in the black cassock, but then there's
I
also
don't usually wear mine just because, again, it feels like I'm wearing a sweatshirt.
Right. And then there's the suits too that they wear.
Well, the thing is, of course, also
is there any others, Father Miller?
Well, okay, so when I was ordained, I did wear an amice, which is, as you can see on the alb, some albs are different. Sometimes they have the open neck alb, so you wear an amice.
Right?
This is for mass.
Yeah.
I don't remember the exact symbolism of it, but I do have an alb. All priests wear albs.
The helmet of salvation, protecting the priest's thoughts.
There's a whole thread
like that. There's a whole thread that explains it all.
Right. There's symbolism between everything that we do in mass. The cincture is a symbolism of purity or chastity, celibacy. And I do wear the cincture. I mean, some albs have like the little Velcro thing to shut, you know, to be able to keep the stole in. I do not wear a maniple. That's part of the old rite, which I don't wear. The stole I do, of course. And then you got the chasuble.
Other than the difference in length, what's the difference between a stole and a maniple, then, Father?
I don't really know that. John, you might be able to explain the maniple more than I could.
I don't know, Patrick. The thread doesn't
Let me
show.
see. I'm sorry. I don't
I
I'm
don't
trying
think.
to find my stream here. There it is.
A maniple here. It says a cloth draped over the left arm, a sign of the burdens of
Oh,
priestly
right.
service. I among you as one who serves, and from Luke.
Which would explain why it's got something to. Oh, I sorry. Yes, I see. I see. It's actually. It's a lot smaller than it looked.
It's not a very big thing,
and that's why it's got a strap around it to tie it. Whereas the stole goes over both your shoulders and.
Yeah, and the stole represents the
authority,
the authority and yoke of Christ.
Because the stole, if I remember my Latin correctly, a stoler would be female because he's an A, and that's the old the old Romans, when the old Roman matrons that you will wear a stole over their shoulder, around their sort of shawl around their shoulders, if I remember correctly.
Oh.
I don't know.
Hello, Max.
Hey.
Good to see you, Max.
Hello, Max.
It's
been a while.
I saw your stream and I saw you talking about clothing, and it reminded me of the Torah portions where God is talking about the sanctuary, which we call the Mishkan, and there are the Kohanes and which are the priests, and the Kohen Gadols, which are the high priests, and there are these very particular vestments. Like if you with Indiana Jones and Raiders of the Lost Ark, you see that there is, I think Belloc is actually dressed as a Kohen Gadol, and it's a pretty faithful to what's in the Torah as to what the vestments of the high priest were.
Oh, right, because it didn't help him much because his head blew up.
No.
See, this is where we need to get the rabbi on here, but it's a Sabbath over in Israel, so he can't join us.
Yeah.
Oh, I know, yeah.
I didn't realize how small he was. I saw a picture of him next to his son.
Really?
He's tiny, that guy.
Who's the rabbi?
Yeah,
he's
Rabbi tiny.
Small, but
I was about to say.
I'm one to talk. I am one to talk.
My hand's doing exactly that same pose as yours.
Well, I've for what it works, I've studied Torah for 15 years.
Oh, wow.
So on and off.
I mean, again, right, I always wonder about these things. I always wonder why they sing hymns when they can't, after so many years of how music is developed, how comes they're still singing hymns? I think about these things when I'm a mess. I'm like,
okay, so I'm only gonna play a 30-second clip of it just because I will get copyright struck for this.
Uh-oh.
But there's a band that I just discovered. I guess they've been around for 20 years called Gregorian.
Okay. Interesting.
Here, let me I'm just queuing up to where it kicks in.
There's a group that I listen to called the Hillbilly Thomists. They're a bunch of Dominicans based out of DC that sing bluegrass. They're pretty good.
Here we go. Let's see. We got it queued up. So this is The Weeknd's Blinding Lights. But here we go.
Oh dear.
No, it's actually pretty cool.
This is gonna be great. Yeah.
Oh, Lord.
Anyway,
it's
they look like that. This looks like a horror film. Come on, guys, you got to admit, it looks like a horror movie.
It's better than Enya.
Oh,
yeah,
God.
Well,
I know I'm setting a low bar there, but
But
I mean, they've done some Simon and Garfunkel covers that are pretty cool.
Ah, cool.
There's a few of those. There's a channel, I think it's a channel called Bardcore, and they do a lot of modern music, medieval style.
Oh yeah, yeah.
They're the heroes in the horror movie.
Yeah.
Are they?
I reckon probably
The Exorcist,
about,
right?
back when we used to have part of our reenactment was when we had a band choir. I reckon at least
Here we
half,
go.
if not two-thirds of what we used to sing, you guys would probably recognise, because it was because at least half of what I sing is in Latin. So
I don't think I'll get struck for this because it's definitely not copyrighted.
wow, yeah, that's.
Don't know what language that is.
It's
Medieval English.
Medieval
Is that-
English.
oh.
Medieval English. There we
I was
go.
Yeah,
gonna
it's
say, is
somewhere,
that-
it's somewhere between Chaucer and it's somewhere between Chaucer and Shakespeare.
Yeah.
Because it's
Yeah, it's about the time that they sent the Kniggets to the Crusades.
it's before the Great Vowel Shift, because you can tell
Yeah.
from the fact that that they're stretching the vowels out,
Yeah,
whereas
it was-
the vowels change around.
I was going to say that definitely is not Esperanto.
No. I mean, it's because it's also because it's also you can tell it's before. So excuse me a second. I just need to throw the back of my neck, make sure my reenactment teaching switch is not switched on. Otherwise, I'll be good for hours. It's also before mass literacy. You can tell, because mass literacy, that's when you actually start getting this pronunciation set in stone. Because how you write it
Okay, I
down.
thought I had played some of these before. This is Linkin Park in classical Latin.
What?
Oh man.
No.
Still-
Oh no.
Father.
Is this like,
If we
is
can
this
find the
people actually doing this, or is this
Here we
all like
go.
AI now?
Yeah.
Father Miller.
Okay, there we go. Okay.
I like that.
Are you seeking to improve the experience because you're not improving the experience?
I don't know. Well, it looks like we got somebody that's not a fan.
It's very
I
wrong.
will say I did play the weekends, the Gregorian chant weekend in class, and I think I blew up a few of my kids' brains because they really did not know what to think of it.
It's funny, right? When it comes to music or film, when you're concerned in religion, it's hard to write something that will please everyone.
Yeah.
Anything that's written, whether it be music or anything connected with religion, someone's always going to be offended, aren't they? Whatever you do. So
Well, any music. I mean, I'll just say this because I was just on Anti-Derivative Jill's stream, and I used this analogy is Estelle Getty on the Golden Girls taught Generation X how to cook spaghetti. So you throw the noodle up against the wall. If it sticks, it's ready. The thing is, the noodle doesn't always stick.
no, it doesn't.
So
Yeah.
I know you said. I mean, again, as someone who's looking at this from
You don't believe in
outside-
God, so you shouldn't have anything to say.
No. I'm agnostic regarding the existence of God, but I look at it from a slightly outside point of view. But for example, there's a very, very old, back when he was funny, when he was really in his prime, Lenny Henry sketch. And he does a sketch about his grandma. And I can't remember the details, but basically she ends up singing along and she's making up the words as she goes along in church.
Yeah.
And the,
I know,
but the,
well, my relatives used to do that.
but the thing is,
Yeah.
I mean, and again, it struck me as someone who is looking at it from an outside rather than an inside point of view. The one he comes up with is when Jesus puts his Reeboks on and runs the heavenly race, they'll test him for drugs, but he'll be clean because he was trained by God. And I'm thinking, from outside, I can actually see how that would perhaps work as a modern.
You can't.
place.
Yeah,
Big-
whatever you do, the
big-
people are going to
big-
complain.
Yeah,
No,
but from the point of view that you're saying that God is teaching him not to, what he's learning from God is to be a
Yeah.
good thing.
I mean, in this day and age, people are you're going to get people who are offended, and then you're going to get people who are going to be offended for others. The sanctimony crowd.
Yeah.
I mean, even going right back to the 70s when they made that film, Oh God, with George Burns.
Yeah.
Even that film had to tread carefully. It was a very simple message, but even it had to tread carefully because they couldn't, say certain things, could they? Otherwise, people will get upset. Do you know what I mean? So there's nothing you can do, whether it be music, film, anything.
Yeah, I mean, the only one that I know that they took a shot at and I enjoyed was The Televangelist.
Oh, well, yeah, they did, yeah.
And they rightly deserved it.
Ian,
here's one. This is Trump's spiritual advisor. I don't know if John has seen this or not.
Yeah, I saw this.
Oh,
so,
yep. She needs lots of help.
And I will say, when Trump appointed her as his spiritual advisor, it's like, why?
Because he goes on how good looking the person is, doesn't he, Trump? So
maybe,
a lot of people.
Maybe she just flattered him in just the right way.
That's right.
I don't know. It's funny. I've done more criticism of Trump publicly on social media than I did at Biden.
Yeah.
And the thing is, that doesn't matter with some people. It's not enough for them.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's fair to be critical as long as you're being as long as you're being critical of both sides, and as long as you're not saying this guy can do no wrong. I support him. I'm behind what he's doing. I think he's a good thing to do. As long as you don't go down that path. But Ian, Friday, you were saying about offences. Ian, do you remember Not the 9 O'Clock News did a sketch, The General Sinner's Life of Christ? Their response to the kerfuffle about Monty Python's Life of Brian.
Yeah,
they did a really clever sketch.
I mean, that's my point, right? That's a good example, Life of Brian. Right? I thought that film was hilarious, right? But I didn't get offended at all because I knew it was a joke. The whole thing was just a silly joke and a very intelligent one at that. Because I had a lot of things to say to Monty Python, especially what's happening now. There's one sequence in that film that tells you exactly what's happening now. I don't know if you noticed that about the guy being a woman and stuff like that. I would. Yeah, you ever see that clip from that film?
They can't do that today.
I thought you were talking about all the Jewish organizations hating one another.
That too. Well, the thing is,
people.
Yeah, so there was this big hoo-ha when the film came out, and they actually had the Python on BBC and had this big discussion with the crowd and stuff like that. And I was thinking to myself, when that was actually happening and I was watching the TV, I was thinking to myself, these people are crazy. Can't they see it's just a joke? Why would you be offended by something like that? I don't know whether you guys were offended, but I wasn't. I just thought it was funny.
No, not exactly, but no? I don't know. It just got me thinking of something from the late 90s called God, the Devil, and Bob. It didn't last very long.
Yeah, I know this one. Yeah.
But I just going to play a clip of it, the intro.
Hi, God here. So I was all
James Gardner
set to destroy the world when I thought, hey, I'm not that kind of God. If just one soul could show me it's worth saving, I'd spare it. Being a sporting deity, I let the devil choose. So, folks, meet your last chance for salvation.
Wow. This is good beer.
Oh, boy. Well, folks, I wouldn't make any long-term plans.
It's Garner's voice, isn't it?
Yeah.
Whoops.
I'm just saying that it's really hard, isn't it? I mean, again, right? I wasn't offended by that film. I don't know whether Father was offended by that film. I don't know whether you guys were offended by it.
To be honest, I don't remember. It's been years since I've seen it.
As a Jew, I have never been offended by that film.
Well, there you go. So, why were so many people offended? I don't understand. Are they that? Yeah, sorry. Go ahead, Archer.
I was going to say. I forgot. Well, the thing is, I forgot what I remember. He wasn't. They made the major point. They made. He's not the Messiah. He's not the
Messiah.
He is someone who is mistaken for Jesus.
He's a naughty boy.
Yeah.
And
they're not saying
that
anything
wonderful
about
song at the end as well.
Yeah.
When they're, it always see on the bright side of life. And
Yeah.
it's just really funny. And I just don't understand anything they make these days connected with religion. People are just get upset for no reason, unless it's something that deliberately goes out their way to, like Concave, which is, I had to sit through that film.
You know
It was
what?
rubbish.
Conclave was not exciting, but it was relatively watchable. But then again, I really do like Ray Fiennes, so
he's a good actor.
Was he original Thomas Harris book?
Robert Harris.
Robert
just-
Harris. That's what
I just thought
Yeah, it's Robert Harris.
As a filmmaker, I thought the filmmaking was terrible. The photography was brilliant and the sets were fantastic.
yes.
But they were just spelling everything out like, he's evil and stuff like that, instead of, being more deeper. Do you know what I mean? Everything was just spelt out. For you, and I just thought it was a bit silly, the whole film.
This is a better movie about a conclave that I've actually used in class. I don't know if you guys have heard of The Shoes of the Fishermen.
I haven't.
I've heard of
But
the film.
notice the cast.
Yeah, jeez.
But
I'll be back.
Anthony Quinn, Oscar Werner, Fahrenheit 451, David Jansen, Leo McKern, John Gilead,
wow,
Laurence Olivier.
Yeah.
What's it called?
Shoes of the Fisherman.
Oh.
It's a movie from like 68, I think.
Okay.
That's based on Morris
The novel.
West, I think.
No. Yeah, actually.
So I know I've read a couple of Morris West and very
Let me
I think it's Morris West wrote biblical.
Yeah, I actually have the book on my shelf.
Because there was a spate of a thing for biblical novels. Because
Okay, so I have the trilogy on my other bookshelf, but this is one of the books he wrote.
Wow. So I think I've read one because I think I've read I Judas. Which I Judas is not Morris West. It's another.
No, I've not heard of that one.
It's another one of those authors who wrote that sort of thing. That was a largest thickest book, but again was sort of fictionalized versions of or fictionalized ideas for what the events might actually have been that are immortalized in that myth, legend, and story. If I remember correctly.
Snortopupus mentioned he read the book and he thought the sequels were strange. If you're talking to Morris West, yeah, I would agree. Clowns of God is the sequel, I think, to the Shoes of the Fisherman. I can't remember. There was Lazarus, I think, was one of the other ones.
Yeah, I think Morris West also did one or two written set in then. I mean, he was writing about the 60s and the 70s, then modern dayish Middle East, Israel, Palestine era. I think.
How many Clowns of God could you fit in a Volkswagen Beetle, though?
Thousands.
You'd be surprised.
Yeah.
I will say I am surprised we're not talking about a new conclave in real life right now.
Well, I mean,
the Pope is home.
What? Yeah,
the Pope has been released from the hospital.
I mean, there was one or two news pieces where they said, "Hey, we were about to call it." You know?
Yeah, I know.
I mean, long story short, my dad in May of 13, he had a heart attack followed by open heart surgery and then 2 emergency thoracotomies for blood clots. And he had between then and October, he had almost every possible complication, but he made his way back almost to recovery. Then he had respiratory acidosis and he went back on the ventilator because he was 78. And like every day on the ventilator sent him back like 2 days physically, at that age.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I mean, I am not wishing for an actual conclave to come quicker than it has to, but listening to his voice, he just doesn't sound good. I just wonder how much longer he has.
Yeah.
Yeah. You have
it's
to.
Not his time to go yet. When it's his time, it'll be his time, as my mum always says. So,
I mean, the only Pope of our lifetime that we actually watched die in real life was John Paul.
Oh yeah, and remember that. Remember how huge that was.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I was in the seminary at the time, and I remember when he left the hospital for the last time, they actually had a camera in the Pope Mobile as he traveled back to the Vatican. And it felt like you were doing a death watch the whole way.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know all of them. I do know him, because he came over to England and stuff like that. And he was by far my favorite out of all of them in my lifetime. Because he was the people's Pope, wasn't he? He went out there, shook hands,
Yeah. Well, I mean, he was 58 when he was elected. As I told my kids, he visited America at least 7 times as Pope.
Yeah.
And
he was also Pope for 27 years, though.
Even to this day, my mum still got a picture of.
Oh yeah, we have pictures of him at our school, and it's just scary to think the amount of time that has passed since he died in 2005. It's the same amount of time from Pius XII to John Paul's election. Because Pius XII died in 58, John Paul's elected in 78, 20 years. We're now at the 20th anniversary of John Paul's. Actually, it's this weekend, I think.
Also the same amount of time since
the conclave. So the conclave didn't last for 20 years, but it
no. Good heavens, no.
I'm sorry, that was my first thought.
No. But he was one of the longest reigning popes in history, because Pius XII was from 39 to 58. Paul VI was from 63 to 78. We've had Francis for 13 years. I think Pius X was around for maybe 12 years.
Interesting you should mention that, Father, because Mike really walked with my connection. Sir John Gielgud was in Choose of the Fisherman.
Yeah.
I believe he also played the Pope in a Gregory Peck movie called
Scarlet and the Black. Good movie.
Yeah, I must admit, I remember it for fancying Fabio Udenio in the first place, but yes, it was a good film.
Yeah, Scarlet and Black is a really good story. I don't know too many people have seen it, but it is a true story about an Irish Monsignor who hid Jews and POWs in churches and convents during the war.
Yeah, you know what?
That's
people don't have the patience to watch films.
That's how some of my relatives survived.
I would genuinely be interested to know exactly how much of the James Bond stuff that Gregory Peck gets up to in that movie.
Well, I'll show you the
like getting dressed up in German uniforms and going to give was it last rites to a priest who's going to be executed or whatever he does.
Here, I'll show you the cover of this one. Because they actually do a good job of showing it in this movie. Pius XII under the Roman sky with James Cromwell as Pius XII.
You'll never get films like that today.
No.
Never.
No, actually, it's a new one. It's probably less than 10 years old.
Really? This one.
Because I think the other thing about
Scotland, it is Snort.
Was one of the first things. First was I think I saw. Contrast of range. When you go, okay, sorry, okay. So hold a second. Wait a minute. The bad guy, the bad guy in the Scarlet and the Black, is the head of the Von Trapp family.
Yeah.
Oh.
What?
Yeah.
Yes, Christopher
Plummer.
Hold a second. Bad guy, head Nazi in Rome, is also the guy who fled Austria 3 years earlier with his family over the Alps. Because the showed what's called an actor, Christopher Plummer was.
If this one that Snorted Poopas is mentioning, I think there was a movie where Christopher Reeve played a Monsignor.
Yes, there was.
From the 80s.
Yes, there was.
Yeah, I remember that.
Then there is the Christopher Lambert played a version of Jerzy Popolowski, the Polish martyr from the 80s. Dang it, I can't think of the movie, but Ed Helms is the KGB bad guy.
Wow.
You know what, right? I feel sorry for Chris Reeve because he tried his best to separate himself from Superman and tell everybody that he was a good actor and stuff like that. And he starred in some really good films, but he just didn't get the notoriety.
He's back.
I came back.
Hey, maybe you can help me. The movie that Christopher Lambert was in, where he's playing Jerzy Popolowski. Oh, To Kill a Priest. To Kill a Priest. That's what it was.
Did you get killed in the Witcher game?
What?
He said he was going to play a Witcher game, so I was wondering if he died.
Oh, no. Father Miller, I don't know what movie you're talking about there.
No, it's Christopher Lambert. He was in To Kill a Priest. It came out in the 80s.
He's a great 80s, 90s actor.
Yeah, I know.
It's like, it's like there's guys like Michael Dudikoff and Chris Makepeace who were only good actors in a certain time frame, like the 80s and 90s.
Here we go.
Well, I thought it was quite ironic almost that Christopher Reeve's most famous role is Superman.
Yeah.
His last role was in Smallville.
Yeah.
Wow.
Not obviously not playing Superman. His last role was playing opposite Tom Welling in Smallville.
He also directed TV movies and stuff, Chris Reeves, when he was in a wheelchair. He directed a couple of movies. So
it was the one, I think it was called In the Gloaming on HBO.
Yeah.
I'm not familiar with that one.
I think it had, was it Chris O'Donnell? It was about someone, basically they were going into hospice care in their home with their parents.
Yeah.
Well, the one, I know it's a recent one, the Father Stu movie that came out like 2-3 years ago.
That was, what's his name? That big fella.
Matt Damon.
Matt
Damon, Mel Gibson.
Oh, of course, yes. Yeah.
Matt Damon.
Oh, looks like he is here. Justin is in the background. Got stuck work, closing a deal for a huge collection. Father can tell me all about it.
Do you know what, Justin? You can go away because you're not on here. So
there you go, Father. That's permission, Father Manifold.
Well, because
NDA is no longer decisions.
If you're not on the panel, you can piss right off. Oh,
Yeah,
I'll let that slip. I'll let that slip.
It was funny because I was in the shop yesterday, and another guy came in who was kind of wheeler and dealer that I know, and he saw the collection sitting there on the counter. He's like, "Oh, Justin, well, where did this come from? How much did you pay? Well, what's it all about?" And Justin's like, I can't say. And the guy kept pushing for more questions.
NDA.
Father, he started, Gary's starting.
Okay. Well, used to stop at that time, but honestly, Gary is so big now. It's like,
okay. No, I haven't been here in a while, so.
No, I'm glad you joined us. If you got to run, that's fine. I know I got to wrap up soon myself.
Yeah, I was going to say. So.
No, I'm a man at leisure.
I know that
the Witcher board game wasn't too bad. We just did kind of a learning game on it.
Oh, right.
But you can play. It's kind of it takes place before the books, so it's like the history of the Witchers. But you go around and chase monsters, and you can fight other Witchers, and you can gamble and go on adventures. I'd say it's pretty good. I got the edition that had a bunch of minis, which I'm going to paint up, and maybe if I get some of those done, I'll show them here on the stream these days.
I gotta ask, since Snarpookus brought it up, Max, are you familiar with the swearing clip I play?
Yes.
Okay, that's why he said shame, shame, shame.
Okay, well, I'll take that.
On the plus side, Ian and I will be a little bit more in connection with you time wise because our clocks go forward this weekend. So
it does, yeah.
Oh, okay. So
it was a good British accent you put on there, Max. Do you know
what?
Yeah,
it was a good British accent.
Yeah. And I was minding my P's and F's, not my P's. So.
Well, we can ask Father Apple since, John, what was the liturgical question we were dealing with earlier?
It was about the vestments.
Okay. Was it the maniple or?
The maniple and the stole. 'Cause
Yeah.
I didn't realise they were very different sizes. Until I,
Yeah, the stole was the mark of the order you were in. So if you were a bishop, you'd wear the stole straight. If you were a priest, you'd cross it, and a
right.
deacon wore it off to the side.
Right.
Ah,
So,
And
so
then-
what? So it's the same vestment, but depending on your role or position, you wear it differently.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I guess that makes sense. I mean, good heavens, it's probably been 18 years since I wore a deacon stole. But I remember.
I don't get deacons. They're just kind of priests, but don't want to commit. That's what I. That's what,
Yeah.
that's what I think they are.
It was a role for primarily now it's for married men, but they primarily assist the bishop directly. They're assigned to a parish, but they're directly assigned by the bishop himself. Now the maniple has an interesting story though, because it's just a cloth you wear over your wrist and your forearm, and many people think it's there to wipe the sweat away from your brow like this.
That's what
But
I thought.
It was actually because the priest would weep so often during mass when they realized what they were doing. That was to dry your tears away.
Oh, right.
Oh,
I was, because I'm thinking of that. I mean, it's not, no, because it's some, because do you not also have something on your arm when you're giving communion? Or am I thinking of something else? So I'm thinking that so that the communicant can wipe their lips or something, or am I getting confused?
Yeah, I think that was a tradition in some places, but I think I know in the Orthodox community, it was more common for them to receive the mixed species. So you'd have a little bit of the precious blood and the body together.
Oh,
And so that might be more common to have something to pick up a spill like that, but I'm not familiar with that one.
All I can say is, Justin, go away, man. You're
Yeah.
late.
Too
You're
late, too late.
You stole my comic.
you're too late. You don't have the right comics.
That's
You're
I paid
right.
good money
like
for
an idiot. Put something on with a collar, man. For God's sakes, have some self-respect.
I'm sorry.
Well,
No, you're not.
I've got a collar on both mine.
There's Justin. We know.
I just wanted. I don't know if Father shared this, but this deal I collected I got a commission on this deal. It wasn't a money commission. It was the first appearance of Thor.
Yeah, I mentioned that.
And it is, if it comes back at a 6, I would not be surprised.
Private Pile, if you were sorry, you wouldn't. But Private Pile, if you were sorry, you wouldn't have done it in the first place.
Yeah, Justin, I was talking with Jim about that collection, and he's
I
like,
was busy.
"This is a once in a lifetime thing that falls in your lap." So,
Oh yeah, yeah.
kudos
We
to you guys.
first Barry Allen, first Hal Jordan,
Oh.
first Crypto, first Supergirl,
No.
first Brainiac, and then
First
it goes.
Haunted Tank.
Yes, I got that one. And then it goes
Wow.
into Marvel, and it's like the prototype for Doctor Doom, the prototype for Spider-Man, the prototype for the Fantastic Four, like all these things that came out when they were Atlas before they were
Thank you,
Marvel.
Snort.
We have that stuff. So
Now I know nothing about comic books, but I can understand that that's huge.
Well, for them it is. These three.
yeah, I mean, I'm not the biggest Thor fan, but I was like, out of everything that came out of that collection, like he had one Amazing Spider-Man issue, he had one Fantastic Four issue, he had number 2. So like it's like if someone started buying DC Comics when DC Comics was there, it was all Looney Tunes, it was all Roy Rogers and Bugs Bunny, and then got into DC, and we see the first appearance of, not the first appearance of Justice League, but we do have Justice League number 1, and then you can see where it got into the 60s, where Marvel was starting to tip their toe in the water with Atlas Comics, all their Astonishing Tales and this. Now I even have 3 copies of the Submariner, which Marvel doesn't actually own the rights to. That was before it became Namor.
Yeah, I'm going to throw the link in if Matt wants to join.
It's nuts. Sorry, I don't have my
Matt.
setup.
No.
My setup isn't permanent with
Oh.
all my cameras off. and stuff.
Speaking
Just got
of,
a tip for 20. You got to see what used to be able to show you what the comments were.
Speaking of Warner Brothers, I just saw a news piece where Warner Brothers is raising the original on the lots, raising the original building where they were doing Warner Brothers animation.
Wow.
You mean tearing it down, raising?
Yeah.
I had a few.
Looney Tunes.
Warner Brothers in trouble anyway. They're big trouble. One of
At the risk of coming close to doxing, a few years ago now, I was working on a building site, and I thought the building behind me was the building where they made Stingray, Thunderbirds, and Captain Scarlet.
Wow.
No, the building site I was working on was where they made them. I'm glad I haven't started there 6 months earlier. If I'd been working on it, I'd have been on the picket line saying, "No, save this is a national heritage site." But
before we quit on the game room we were in today, I'm at the cathedral, and I know the
We're
pastor.
live on the scene with Father Apple. Bones Vault.
Oh, it looks very plush.
Sorry,
Very plush. Looks very
let me
plush, mate.
bring that up.
Wow. That's a
Wow.
nice place. Who said Priest had a hard time, eh?
Yeah, but I know where he's at. You don't want to go too far outside there.
Oh, okay.
Where's
Wow. Looks like a big house. That's
is.
amazing. That's bigger
You know,
than
I've
my
never
place.
been in that rectory.
He just redid it too, so it's pretty nice.
It is
Well, it's
lovely.
missing a lot of comic art. We got to get to work.
Yeah, I know.
Haven't you got cable?
Yeah.
No.
She said you have broadband, high streaming fiber optic.
Yeah.
So again, I gotta say thank you. Fortunately, I'm trying to get my stream elements working, but got a tip for 20. I thank you very much. I'll probably find the comment later.
Father
I'll buy a
Guido,
couple of coffees.
on behalf of Father Guido Sarducci, we want to say thank you. Thank you, because the tip reach here, and here.
Well, it's probably going to go to Justin for the comics that he has that he sold to Father Apple.
Hey, I said maybe we should leave those for Father Miller. He goes, no.
Well,
I may be making that up, but he was supposed to show them to you.
That's
You know what?
a
However,
confessional right there, mate.
we have a lot more. I have piles of Jimmy Olsen, Superman's friend, and Superman's girlfriend Lois Lane. I have a lot.
I am going to be back the first weekend of May for my great nephew's baptism, so I will have to go.
Wait. I can just hear one day a comic book person goes into the confessional, and like 2 minutes later, you hear Father Miller saying, "You had
what job?"
Forgive me, Father
I tell you what,
Brian.
one of our teachers came to me today. He has a collection of old comics, and he inherited from somebody that they were going to throw them in the dumpster. What they did was they took the front cover off. I don't remember his whole explanation. He was wondering if they might be worth something. It's like it depends what the comic is.
That deal we got, he had books that he had thrown in the trash. I said, no, bring them. If they're Batman's, bring them.
Who'd we lose?
John, he's posted in private chat for it.
Oh, okay.
Well, he had brought those, and I was like, well, they might be destroyed, but they're like first appearances. They might still be worth money, and they were destroyed. But he did have first Batmite and like 2 other key issues that if they had been, they were covered in mold, basically, that nasty paper mold.
Yeah. And the thing about mold is it destroys everything. Like, everything.
I think the only comics I've got a complete run of is 1980s Camelot 3000.
Justin, you got another. My bill is being subsidized for you today.
I got the first issue of Deadline. I don't know if you guys know Deadline, that had housed Tank Girl and all the rest of those. No, you don't know Deadline?
Oh, I know Tank Girl. I mean, we all know Tank Girl.
Yeah,
Sure.
Tank Girl actually was created for a comic called Deadline. I got the first one of them. That's when punk rock comics were in vogue.
And bestiality, apparently, because there's like kangaroo people in that with her.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll show you the one that I got the first issue of. Let's see. I'll be interested in seeing if Justin knows it.
Oh yeah, Blitzkrieg. Didn't get any of those, but I got several of the military titles, including a whole pile of early Sergeant Rock stuff. And I've got a customer who's always asking me, "When are you gonna get some Sergeant Rock?" And I'm like, "I got something for you, Dave."
What about Sergeant Fury?
No Fury. But remember, this collection is before Marvel really took off. I've only got 2 Marvel books. The rest are technically like Atlas.
Who is it? Someone was. I saw they're talking about casting Sergeant Rock. Was it Daniel Craig?
Yeah, it was Daniel Craig, but he stepped down.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Sergeant Fury.
Oh, yeah. I remember those. How did that is the same Nick Fury, isn't it?
Yes. I
Yeah,
believe
but
so.
he's white.
But how does Nick Fury from World War II Howling Commandos? How does he make it into the 60s, 70s, 80s, or whatever? Or is it the same character?
Well, I mean, that's after Howling Commandos came Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D., which I never got into.
So theoretically, it's the same Nick Fury all the way through. Oh, right, okay.
It is Nick Fury. I mean, I like to think of him as the Knight Rider Nick Fury.
I was going to say David
Hasselhoff. And you've got the Samuel L. Jackson Nick Fury. That's what you got. You just got 2 Nick Furies. So there you go.
Yeah. So apologies for being late today.
Yeah.
Apology accepted.
So Justin, is that deal all closed out now? Is it done or what?
I have paid the gentleman involved, and the rest of the deal happens when I get a chance to finish going through the boxes. I told him once I got out what we wanted. He said if anything we weren't going to sell or didn't want to take the time to try to sell, he said he would like it back. And I'm like, that's no problem. So he'll probably get a bunch of Looney Tunes and Westerns. I got Lassie and Trigger and Roy Rogers. All that stuff is in there.
Wow.
Yeah. I did find first Speedy Gonzalez in print, and but it's only like an $18 book on the low end, which is kind of weird.
What about annuals? Are they worth anything these days?
Depends on what happens in them. I mean, Avengers Annual 10 was the first appearance of Rogue, so yes. Yeah, it really depends on what happens. It's all about the key issues. I mean, Gary was talking about this on one of his streams last night or yesterday about it's become a collection or a hobby of collecting investment. You know, they buy them for the cover or they buy them for the key issue, and nobody reads comics anymore. And it's kind of true, especially with the new stuff. But yeah, annuals, as long as something cool happened in them and it's a key issue and it has value, I guess.
Your asset is always worth what the highest bid is at any one point.
Oh yeah,
but it's only worth what the
I click
highest
that
bid is.
eBay sold tab all the time, so I can't find what I'm looking for. As well, what did it sell for last?
So what about what about the very first print of The Death of Gwen Stacy? That must be worth a lot then, right?
Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
I mean, that first Punisher. I mean, there's a lot of books in the first time the Goblin died. That's worth something. The first time we see him. Yeah, you laugh, but that's how it is.
No. I was just thinking the only one that's probably not worth much anymore is The Death of Superman.
Oh, okay. So a 9.8 graded of the one with the gravestone cover, the gray cover. That's like an $80 book if you can get it graded at like a 9.8. Raw, I sell them for $20 bagged. Still in the bag with all their little accessories like the card and the black armband and things like that.
Wow, blimey.
Wow.
Well, it's just, I mean, it was the 90s. Everything, they made 1 million copies of everything, and everybody. There's a great documentary about Image Comics where people were walking out of this place where they all went to go sign their books. It was the first year they had books out, and the guy walks out, he holds up 10 copies of Spawn. He goes, "I want to pay for my kids' college with these," and I'm like, "No, you're not," because you and everybody else got 30 copies of that book, and
I actually felt sad when I read that. That's The Death of Superman. I got to admit, I didn't like the art in The Death of Superman at all. The art halfway through changed by somebody else was drawing, and then somebody started it, and then somebody else was drawing the middle bit. But yeah, I don't know. I just didn't like it for some reason. And he knew he was going to come back.
Well,
everybody knew he was going to come back.
All that sort of stuff is kind of gimmicky. It's like we're going to kill the character, or the character is going to become gay now, or the character is going to, someone else is going to die in their circle. That just, to me, seems like lazy writing.
Yeah.
I go to Superman because I want to see him fighting aliens or something. Make that interesting.
Those are my favorite covers. Are like giant, like I've got one that I might pick up. It's the first appearance of Monstrasso or Monstrano. It's the giant octopus, and I just like big monster books.
Yeah.
I mean, what was it? The Miss Marvel her body was barely cold before she came back to life.
Oh yeah, no, they put out
and what a
Funeral
body
for a Friend, and it was she was in the X-Men book like the next week.
Did she come? Did she come back?
Boom, just like that. She ended up being a mutant, so they were able to resurrect her through the resurrection protocols.
I remember going back possibly before a lot of you gentlemen. I remember there was an episode. I used to collect Legion of Superheroes, and it was one of those. Was the next issue? A Legionnaire will die, and one of them did. I think it was Timberwolf. Got killed off in the next one.
I think that's the Gwen Stacy book in Spider-Man. They had the pictures of all the people's faces, and they say by the end of this book, one of these people will die.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
The Deadpool variant I bought.
I
And
remember all that stuff.
Yeah, let me see if I could bring that one up.
I remember all that stuff.
Meant something, yeah.
That stuff makes me smile as a kid. You couldn't wait to buy the next issue. I remember it was a Defenders story where at the ending, the Hulk was blind. Something happened to him and he was blind. He was trying to grope the floor and he was like, oh, whatever. And it just said continue next week. And I was like, Jesus, the Hulk is blind. I had to get the next comic.
Oh, we got it. Hold on. We gotta play it.
Right now is shame, 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 shame.
I prefer the Game of Thrones. Shame.
Shame.
I could probably get that.
I'm afraid I might have to bite the bullet. I've never read the Game of Thrones book, so I have nothing but something.
No investment. Never read it. Never watched it.
You know, the thing is, there's no ending to it. I mean, we're still waiting.
I'm actually kind of excited for Arya's show where she goes west.
Haven't read it. Didn't watch it. Wouldn't be prudent at this juncture.
I remember that.
The thing is, the problem is, I got the first way back then. We used to have a company called Love Film. I don't know if you remember this here.
Yeah, I
basically,
remember it,
you rented a DVD or DVDs by post. You sent it back and got another one. I got the first DVD of Game of Thrones, which was the first 4 episodes, and I did not get into it. And I've not didn't watch anything since.
I can beat you on that one. I actually was there when they screened it at BAFTA. The very first 2 episodes, and the producer came out on stage and he says, I have to apologize for a certain scene that happens in the first episode. We apologize. And he walks off. And you know what he was talking about? The bit where the guy pushes the kid off the
I know
thing.
exactly. Yeah.
Well, the thing is,
I saw that, didn't get into it at all. And obviously since then I've seen a lot of the fast and all the rest of it. But I keep getting shorts of it in my YouTube feed. And I'm gonna have a lot of it looks, I think I'm gonna have to go and see this.
I'm sure after the viewing there was someone who went up to one of the people. It's like, you should have pushed more kids off.
But in those days, it was unheard of to do something like that on TV. Another thing that was unheard of is to actually see a knife stab someone.
Oh, this is the best
Oh,
movie
this
ever.
one, yeah.
I grew up watching this.
Yeah.
3, 2, 1.
You know, I once saw John Cleese live giving a speech, and he did a test viewing. He was talking about test viewing of a fish named Wanda.
Yeah.
And it's like the studio execs want to cut this scene, want to cut that scene, and it's like the scene where they were killing the dogs.
Yeah.
And the one thing I remember from the speech is
forgot about that.
An old lady came up to him after the viewing and said, "Why didn't you kill more dogs?"
It is strange what they think, isn't it? They're stupid.
Come in to kill me. Come in to kill me.
Something about John Cleese. There's the Monty Pythons did a lot of stage shows.
Yeah,
they did a lot.
And there is a stage show going on YouTube where they're doing the She Shops, not the She Shop sketch, the parrot sketch.
Yeah.
And they go in, and John Cleese goes up, and he goes, "I want to complain about this here parrot. It's dead." And Michael Palin turned around and says, "Yep, you're right. It's your money back." And John Cleese just completely corpses because he thought they were going to do the complete sketch.
Yeah,
and Michael Palin just corpsed him.
You know this scene?
More of this.
Yes.
Yeah, let's do a minute of it.
Come here, Foofy. Foofy, are you psyched? Are you ready?
This is from UHF.
Yeah.
Here we go. Get ready and fly. Oh, man. You know, sometimes it takes him a little longer to learn how to do it.
Oh,
man.
Should not be funny.
I just love the.
There should be a class in elementary school when kids get to like the age of like 6 or 7, where they start showing them these incredible classic movies that they would never see. Like there should be an education on pop culture and what we missed. And this would be in there. This would be on one of the Monty Python and stuff like that.
Did you say that's called UHF?
Yeah, have you seen it? It's a good film.
No, I want to look up the cast because I'm pretty certain the guy throwing out the poodles was the gang leader in Hill Street Blues.
Huh.
I don't know.
I think he died about a year or two ago.
Face looked familiar.
Interesting.
I think he played. What's the character?
Oh, Michael Richards.
Is this an excuse to go back and rewatch Hill Street Blues? Maybe.
God, Hill Street Blues, that's taking me back.
Yeah.
Great Dennis Franz show.
First
Ash in the morning and then Hill Street in the evening.
Now, if you want one of the best, for my money, one of the best cop shows ever, NYPD Blue.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Hill Street Blues was first, I think.
Totally. It led up to it. I'm just saying, like, for me watching it, I was a freshman in high school, and that was on Tuesday evenings. And
I think I was a little bit older than you.
I just remember when it aired, it was big news because somebody's rear end was going to be shown.
First they showed what was it? David Kelly. What's his name? David
Caruso.
First they showed David Caruso's butt. Then they showed Sherry Stringfield's butt. Then they showed Dennis Franz.
It was like the South Park episode.
Yeah,
where they swear.
Where they counted the S word because it was like they were all about they're going to say S word on TV, and then they said it was like ooh. But the best part of was the reference they make in the very first episode of South Park where Ike is trapped on an alien ship, and his brother goes, "Ike, jump!" And he's like, "No." He's like, "Do your impression of David Caruso's career," and he goes, "It's not."
David Caruso walked off of the set without saying anything to anyone in his last day on.
Dennis Franz, right? Because of that show, he's just played the same character for the rest of his career, isn't he? He's just the same character.
What's the last thing he did? And then he just retired to Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, and he doesn't. He's like.
Well, he was in Die Hard too, wasn't he? He played the same character. He played the same character.
Well, the guy who played Al Powell in the first one, he was a cop on his Dad TV show.
I think Dennis. I looked at one of them. I think Dennis Franz is the only person who's in the entire series of NYPD Blue.
Yep. All the way up from the first episode to the last episode.
Yeah.
Because the whole TV show is about him.
Yeah. But because I thought
redemption of Andy Sipowicz.
Yeah. Usually you'll see things, but because everybody, even the captain, I thought that what was the character
which one?
The
Archer.
The white guy. The white guy that was the second tier detective. Medavoy. Thank you.
Yeah.
I thought
Gordon Clapp. Yeah, I think he was in. He was in and he was out for a bit, and then he came back in.
Yeah. Yeah. And then they did another character when. Frank Furillo, Snorty. How can you not remember Furillo? And he says, completely forgetting the woman's name. Veronica Hamill's character.
Hill Street Blues.
Yeah.
He's talking about Hill Street Blues.
Yeah.
No.
That's funny. I actually was looking that up yesterday and today, looking to buy the box set.
Hey, what did that guy used to say? Be careful out there.
Yeah. You saying that, I was interested. I noticed, interestingly enough, picked it up. The last 2 seasons of The Rookie, they use that exact same phrase.
My gosh!
This is on Plex. I'm going to revisit. Yeah, I haven't seen that in probably 30 years, so I'm going to revisit it this weekend.
You know how that started off? That started off as
the movie.
After that, he was introducing music videos. That's all he was doing. MTV.
Yeah,
and then he got so popular, they wanted to see more of him, so they made a show.
Funny thing about Max Headroom, the only time that I don't know if it's the only time, but it is the most notable time of someone interfering with a television signal. I believe it was.
Oh yes.
Oh yeah,
Doctor Who. Doctor
Yeah.
Who.
It was
Yeah.
November 22nd, 1988. I lived in Chicago. I was watching the horror of Fang Rock when someone, because what WTTW, the public television station, would bounce their signal off of the antennas on top of the John Hancock building. So what someone did is they took a satellite truck and interfered with the signal.
Yeah. Wow.
And
Well,
no
Max, you
one's-
probably. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh yeah, and no one's they've never found
No,
out.
never went caught. No, to this
No
day.
one, and we're well beyond the statute of limitations. So
Oh yeah. Well, do you guys remember a movie from the late 70s called Used Cars with Kurt Russell?
yes.
I was watching the clip this morning where they hijacked Carter's speech. I can't play that on here.
I noticed Andreas Katsounis was in Max Headroom. There's a great Jakar.
Yeah.
Let me bring that. I did not know that Bill Maher was in
I
there.
was going to ask that. I was like, what did Bill Maher
Really?
do? You know, he might have been
Yeah.
like one of the TV signals that he interrupts because he had a
Yeah.
show on HBO at that time, didn't he? And that was who had the movie.
Well, he was on a lot. I think it was on ABC. He was on
Well, he
Bill
did
Maher
real
had-
time on HBO for a long time.
I mean, before that, way before when he started, he was doing shows on ABC. He had a spot on. He had a cameo. He had a small spot on like Roseanne and a bunch of other.
He's
bunch
come
of
a
other-
long way. He's come
Oh,
a
yeah.
long way intellectually, I think.
It is interesting times when things have shifted around on either side of this country where Bill Maher is the
Making
center.
sense. Yeah, right.
You know,
Here, I'll show you. They
As a Brit, I have no idea what you're talking about, but hey.
He was in our country. A lot of people are either left or the right.
Yeah.
Bill Maher was very far left in a lot of his opinions. And
Well, he did a lot of atheistic movies too. Trying to
But now-
disprove God.
religiosity. Oh,
Yeah,
you know
that's
what?
one.
He for Judaism, he spoke to Dovid Weiss, who is part of Neturei Karta, which is the anti-Zionist. They are so anti-Zionist for spiritual reasons to the point where they support the Palestinians.
Oof.
I'm like, God, like.
Okay, so this is a Bill Maher movie. I remember.
Too.
Bill Maher.
I remember watching this as a kid, 1988. Bill Maher played a cop. It's kind of a sci-fi time travel movie.
I didn't know he used to be an actor. I thought he was a chat show host fella.
Is the sound playing?
A bit.
Barely.
You're on TV.
Sorry.
I just think that a guy like Bill Maher is a good example of somebody who has no
See if I can
particular
find a better
moral
one.
foundation, so he can change what he
Oh.
believes
Yeah.
from year to year or month to
Right.
month.
Yeah.
I
mean-
saw a pretty tat.
Uh,
It's a little tour of the office.
So it's just
Wow.
kind
Yeah,
of
you know,
utilitarianism,
I mean-
whatever works best for this moment is what we believe.
I mean, look at what's happened to the people who've like doubled and tripled down on the BS.
Oh, they're
On the
running
narrative.
scared.
So-
They don't know what to do anymore.
Yeah.
It's like you can't. This is, you know what? This is a teaching moment for youth people. They need to watch this close up because you've never seen so many people that have been living lies and using people and their way of thinking explode in a like. We can now see. Well, the other people I've been seeing for years, you can now see what this really looks like when you allow it to take form and to control your country. And now that we've run them out, they're cleaning up. And I mean, thank God for Elon Musk and Doge exposing so much. I mean, over 1 million people were collecting Social Security that were supposedly above the age of 100.
Yeah.
yeah, I think that the total now is that they've saved each American citizen $830 on waste. But then the thing is, what you hear in the media is, well, they've only been able to cut $20 billion, and that's just a drop in the
Treasury
well.
Department. The Treasury Department had over $1 trillion of untraceable spending.
Yeah.
So there's roughly $3,000 to $4,000 per American now, from what I
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to be able to do
just,
that.
just the. I mean, I just think about like, wait a second. if someone else had been in office, not only would this stuff have continued to happen, it would have been buried deeper.
It's just
it would have accelerated too. It's been
Yeah.
accelerating.
Is anyone getting arrested though for
that will
doing
come
stuff?
later if they can? Well, what will happen is they'll probably issue orders to like you need to pay this money back, and then if you don't have the money, then they have to find out who's responsible for it. But I doubt a lot of people will go to jail because technically it was being done in legalness,
Yeah.
like it was legal to do. It just nobody
There's-
was telling them to stop.
There's
So-
a qualified immunity element to
And
it.
it infuriates me as an American, and every other
Yeah.
American should be infuriated. All of the money, every year they ask us to raise taxes. Every time they want a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more. Every time we send billions of dollars to Ukraine, it's like we've got our own veterans have no place to sleep at night
Yeah.
sometimes.
We've got exactly the same arguments over here.
Don't get me started.
Veterans on the street.
Yeah, our
Um,
country's
Yeah.
doomed.
cutting,
The problem with most
Oh,
of
yeah.
the developed world is that people
putting
don't see
tax
the
out,
value they
cutting
get.
benefits
Oh,
to the rest of it, and
Oh,
spending
oh,
money
yeah.
on-
Father?
I mean, on
The what?
What? Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
I thought I heard.
I think most taxpayers don't see the value they get from their government.
Yeah.
If you're living in a civilization, you need to see the benefit
Mm.
of your governor,
Yeah.
every day. And most people don't see that from day
Yeah.
to day. Get
I
nothing.
was gonna say I feel for the British. I mean, you guys rent your nuclear missiles from us.
Mm.
Yeah, we want our money back.
Hey, we want our missiles back.
You can have them.
All right, let's not start.
You might get them
quick
if you don't
on
care.
12, 'cause they're gonna leave.
Now, Ian, I might have to rewatch When the Wind Blows.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, that's an old film.
Oh,
It's a
But
very old film.
it is. I
It's a
mean,
great
look,
film, man.
nuclear war is something it's like my rabbit hole. It's something I've studied. And
Okay, so Threads or When the Wind Blows?
I'd
Yeah.
say When the Wind Blows and then Threads.
You
But-
know what, right? I don't even want to think about. Some dumb idiot will probably do it. Press the red button, and then everything will go to.
Yeah, well, that's the most probable is the improbable is the most probable.
Yeah,
That's the problem with it. It's there's I forget which general it said, deterrence works until it doesn't, and then everything unravels.
Do you know what? Right? Maybe we should get Superman to collect all the nuclear bombs and throw it into space. Although
Yeah.
we probably will get
Oh
nuclear
wait,
man.
I already did that in
Haven't get
Superman
that.
4.
Yeah, we
Hey,
get
don't
nuclear
talk
man.
about Superman 4.
Why
Well,
not?
it's one of the
Although
there
Gene
is-
Hackman was in that one, so
He was.
the-
He was.
there is a theoretical space propulsion system where they literally use nukes as a propulsion system. Where they, in fact, I saw a video on it recently where someone had actually done how you do it, and what you do is you space them out in space and you set them
Oh.
off as your spaceship goes past, and it's a way
they
of
used that in the
accelerating.
movie The Core.
It seems like nuclear surfing.
Yeah, but there's I can't do it. There is actually a I can't remember what the name is for the technology. There's actually a name for it. Well, the other one is using
Redneck rockets.
no, there's
Set one
there's-
off, Billy. Then we'll set another one
Yeah.
off. Then we'll set another one off.
there was a name for that particular type of technology. It was one of the things back in the 70s, I think, that was being thought about, because you'd also got ion propulsion, things like that, ways of more efficient use of energy than chemical fuel rockets. Because amongst other things, chemical fuel rocket, 90% of the payload you take up into orbit is, well, the fuel to get up there and come back. But the other thing, of course, is use it to occasionally to accelerate or decelerate asteroids to make them miss rather than hitting us, like one's supposed to about 4 years' time, or come close in about 4 years' time.
I don't know what to say about that. Get you
Nah.
guys.
So I
Like,
gotta
so,
ask.
is that Manipul or is that Monipul?
No, don't say that.
Manipul.
Manipul.
It's Manipul. You can't spell. There are two P's in nipple.
I'd like to ask you about the people. I take
see-
NATO bum cover for 100. I like.
I
oh,
am,
is
I
work
am
out today?
watching this on Sunday.
It just
Sunday over
seems like
here
it
is
has. It
Mother's
just seems
Day.
like it's the same movie, whether it's Nobody or
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. I mean, I'm still going to go
this
see
is-
it.
But this
Yeah.
is written by Chuck Dixon.
And Sylvester Stallone.
Ooh. Chuck
Wow.
Dixon, comic writer Chuck Dixon.
And Sylvester Stallone. Sylvester Stallone wrote
Well,
the
no,
screenplay.
He's an A-list.
Wow.
Yeah, Sylvester Stallone. He's proven himself worthy of all this
Do
stuff.
you know
He's
what?
10 years.
Over here, it's Mother's Day, and my mum wants to go and see this, so I am taking her to see Working Man.
I like her already.
Your mum wants to go and see this because you
Does
told
she
her
like
you was-
action or
No,
is she
no,
just
no.
like Jason Statham?
She's a huge fan of Jason Statham.
Has she
and
seen the
all-
diving videos when he used to
She's
dive?
seen. She dragged me to see Beekeeper. Went to see that. I thought it was fun. This one's probably going to be fun. So she loves all these movies. She loves them.
But has she seen his diving video when he used to competitively dive?
No. She's not interested in that.
Pull that up
She
for her.
doesn't-
Wait, I'm sorry. I'm looking. Nobody 2 comes out in August.
Oh, I'll probably go and see that one. I like the first one.
That's a great movie. I like Nobody.
Yeah, the Nobody was a good film.
Part in the
Okay,
bar.
there's
when the
actually a
other
teaser
Kurdish guy-
trailer.
Yeah.
When that guy sees his tattoo and reacts, that's a great scene.
Are you
I
sure
don't know
this
if we want to see this or
Are
not.
you sure this is a
Teaser.
good? Are you sure this is the real one? Because there's a lot of fake ones out there.
Yeah, I don't know.
How many
Load of
views does it have?
nonsense trailer.
Yes, it's probably a fake one.
Yeah, I think this
Fake
is a
one.
fake one.
Yeah, it's a fake one.
Duped again.
Eh.
Duped.
What are you
Duped
gonna do?
even more. Yeah. I like
Oh,
the first
shucks.
one. I like Beekeeper. I like I'm probably gonna like Working Man because it's just gonna be dumb fun. That's what it's gonna be. And you know what? We deserve dumb fun movies, don't we?
Yeah.
The amount of rubbish that they've
Yeah.
spoon fed us recently it's ridiculous. So I'm gonna go and see a dumb
Well,
fun
like I
movie.
said, I think it's probably been a good year and a half since I've been to the movies.
Oh.
I don't want to go back. I went the other day for whatever. My son wanted to see the Captain America movie.
That's terrible.
Did I tell you about that? Funniest thing anybody's ever
Oh,
seen in the
you
theater?
did.
He just looks at Harrison Ford with no shirt on and goes, "Gross."
Yeah. That's what I
That's
actually
part of the whole
thought.
movie. Was his reaction?
That's exactly what I thought. When I
I'm-
was like, it's only on the screen for a second, wasn't it? It wasn't very long. It was just like
Yeah.
a
I
second.
I started watching Little Platoon's
What video?
video of Captain America. I've got about 5 hours to go.
Yeah, he does talk a lot, doesn't he?
It's about 3.5 hours long. I think no shit. He's really, he
It
does
is
he does deep
absolutely
dive.
terrible, that film.
Mm.
The amount of times they called him Cap, you're Captain America. They're trying to drum it into us that he's now Captain America.
Yeah.
Oh God, it's
Well,
terrible.
it
It's a
Flip
terrible
was saying
movie.
apparently
should've
5
seen the
times
Falcon.
they have to remind you that Liv Ullman's character is Liv Tyler's character is the president's daughter because people won't remember the film 20 years ago, things like this.
I don't know. I just can't stand movies these days. It's just they just shove such a load of rubbish in there. Woke rubbish. that is.
I wanna go see The Day the Earth Blew Up.
Oh, is that the cartoon?
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, a lot of people. I think Chris Gore said it was fun. So
But it's Daffy and Porky.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
but he said the thing that spoilt it was that Daffy and Porky, Daffy Duck was always greedy. I mean, he doesn't have. They're both good friends in this cartoon. and
Yeah,
it doesn't
I
work.
mean-
He was saying.
Well,
He
that
always-
could be a refreshing change. I don't know. But you know what? It compared to what's around.
Yeah.
So,
I eventually saw that Aurora film, the one that won the Oscars.
Honora.
No, Nora, it was called. It's terrible.
Yeah. Oh,
I don't
gosh.
recommend it. I almost fell asleep halfway through it. It was rubbish.
Daredevil's been interesting. Have you guys talked about that thing?
Daredevil.
You can see where it's like not good, and then all of a sudden it
No.
has this moment of like the best television ever. Like it has
Yeah.
it's such a back and forth swing in every episode.
It's terrible.
Here's 20
not
second Daffy
terrible.
Duck. 20-second Daffy Duck palate cleanser.
Oh, my childhood all over.
He's a jolly good fellow.
I love this clip.
Glad to meet you, Chubby. H-Y-M-I-E, 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 H-Y-M-I-E. Jaime! Hey! And
I don't know why. I just love that one.
I
Best one's the Robin Hood episode. Yikes!
yes,
LA!
yeah, that's brilliant, isn't it?
The best
I didn't-
drawn
Bug-
picture of all time is Porky's reaction to Daffy
Yeah.
Duck screwing up. He just
No, I like
shocked.
Duck Dodgers. I think that was quite
Yeah,
funny.
in the 24th of the whole century.
1/2 century.
What about
I
that? What
grade
is it?
this
That,
planet
that
in beam of
disintegrating
stars.
gun.
Earth is
The
fat.
disintegrating gun. That was really funny. That joke.
My-
but,
Yeah.
What was it, Marvin the Martian? Was it?
Marvin the Martian.
Modulator.
yeah.
Which was the one where they take the Mickey out of opera, where they're doing the
Kill the Wabbit.
yeah, kill the
Oh,
Wabbit.
yeah,
Kill the
Flight of the
Wabbit.
Valkyrie.
Yeah, that was
Dude,
great.
the night doesn't go by we don't quote that one.
Uh,
Grimdark helmet comes out of us every night when we're playing games.
who was this?
Oh, it's a Daffy Duck reference.
His
You
nephew
know
was
what?
referring to him as a screwball.
I liked Daffy Duck when he got taken over by Chuck Jones. I didn't think much of these Daffy Ducks, but when Chuck Jones took over Daffy Duck, I thought he was.
See if I can find the Daffy Duck clip.
Also, I saw someone a video recently, unless I dreamt it, about difference in cartoons between lead characters and when you got, because a lot of them are anthropomorphized animals, whether they can talk and walk or not. Because Pluto, for example, doesn't talk, and Pluto's always on all fours and does,
He's a dog.
yeah, it's a dog.
But,
yeah.
but Goofy's also a dog, right?
Yeah, but
I thought Goofy's a cow.
But Goofy walks on 2 feet. Walks on
No,
2
he's
legs.
got the long ears, so he's the dog. He's got the big nose.
Here we go.
Can't help it. I'm a greedy slob. It's my hobby. Save me!
Oh, I thought. Oh, wait. There it is.
I can't help it. I'm a
Oh,
greedy slob. It's my. Save me, pal! Save me! Help! Help!
Yeah. This is
My
one
dad
of
used
the
to
best
say that
cartoons.
all the time to us.
I used to watch this all the time when I was a kid. All the
It
time.
is on top.
I'll tell you, I bought the Golden Collection off of eBay probably 2-3 months ago.
But
It's
see, that's when
36 unedited, uncensored
But that's when
DVDs of the
Daffy Duck
cartoons.
was developed. That's when he was in his prime, when Chuck Jones took over. He became this greedy, not sophisticated duck, didn't he?
Yeah, he definitely had a theme, didn't he? About that
Yeah,
time.
he did. Yeah, he did. Yeah, and that's when I got to like him.
balanced with all the hunting season ones they did
Yeah,
with Elmer. and,
Remember when it was Daffy Duck Fantasy Island?
Oh, that thing.
That was great. I just
Speedy.
Yeah, it was Speedy Gonzalez.
Yeah, but they won't do Speedy Gonzalez anymore.
Of course
You know,
not.
They should bring it back. This is the period where they say, you know what, we're going to go back to the old days of axes, shotguns, cigars, insensitive stereotypes. I love
Let's
Speedy
go.
Gonzalez. Him and Roadrunner and Wile E. Coyote, they were all the best. I love the best. It was the best.
Tom and Jerry, man, that was considered
Oh,
violent.
yeah. There we
today, isn't
go.
it, Tom and Jerry?
This is why they
Bugs
won't
over
do it.
Mickey every time. Bugs over Mickey every time.
So
All right,
I gotta start wrapping up after this clip because I got fish fry tonight.
Senor Slowpoke, you will be good with the chili peppers.
Jose, something I forgot to tell.
He's armed.
That's what I wanted to tell you.
It happens when you let those illegal immigrants in your
In fact,
country.
it's gone.
Now he thought.
He's armed and dangerous.
So on that note, I do gotta wrap, and the R is heading out too. I got fish fry in about an hour.
I would just say one show I've been watching lately I really like on YouTube is Frazetta Fridays with Sarah Frazetta.
Oh.
She's been going through doing all this history about her dad and how Frank Frazetta got his career going. It's been fascinating. So
cool.
Frazetta
All right.
Fridays. It's been good.
Okay, I'll check her out.
Anybody else got anything to plug?
Not at the moment.
My
No.
bathtub.
Utilities.
No,
Well,
not really.
Gotta say again, a big thanks to the R and whoever else donated this afternoon. So, Justin, you got some money coming your way. Thanks again. Well, I probably should call you Judas.
Dear, oh dear.
I would never betray you for silver. I would keep your confidence and have your back. But
He'll betray you for gold, though.
Justin, do you have the number 1 Lois Lane still? Yeah.
Ah.
There we go.
Oh.
So on that note,
there's gonna be
I do got to wrap up. Thank you guys for joining.
Hey,
we'll do it again. I got stations next week, so I won't be able to do it.
All
But
right.
we'll be back in 2 weeks. So with
All right.
that, we're hitting the button.
Okay.
Ta-da,
and we'll be
everybody.
going.